he stands by it enough to the point where he doesn't drive, right?
What?
Like he is playing pedestrian only mode, right? In his life, like in his actual real life. Like
I
he is
mean,
like
that's.
the IRL version of an ultimate Iron Man. Like yes.
I mean,
And
that's
that's
a
why
great
that's
way to look at it. I mean, if you have the transportation and everything, I think everyone should drive less. But
right. Sure. Right, and that's what I say. I give him props because he not only believes in something, but he actually believes in it and is committed to that belief. Well, he posts this thing on Facebook, um, and it basically says anybody driving a truck this huge should require a CDL.
what?
So I says, why would you need a CDL if it's for personal use? And it goes into how people are terrible drivers and etc. I'll pull it up so that way I'm being authentic here. So yeah, so he's advocating for some other licensure for trucks. I don't know what the cutoff of what he considers to be a big truck. I don't know. It's a very subjective idea. um,
Is it? Is that really a subjective idea? We have
well, I mean,
weight classes for trucks.
right. So perhaps it's not, but I guess what he deems as a big enough truck to need additional licensing is not classified. So yeah. So I says in
So
so
wait,
I
let me
said,
start this out with Trace. If you haven't met Kyle, I
Hi,
hope he
Kyle.
doesn't.
No, I haven't.
Well, this
"Oh,
is Kyle. This is
I'm
the
Kyle."
guy I told you I had another Meow podcast interview finally after months of dragging my ass and not doing that. Um, so Kyle has a certain belief system, and people of this belief system do certain things. And I'm hoping he doesn't do one of the things they're most known for. Is I want to see if you can pick up Kyle's belief system.
All right, I like this game. I'm about to bust it wide open here. All right, so
He
uh,
already knows. Like he knows. It's like
I
a
already know.
train crash in slow motion. Like you're like, I know what he means. I know what he means. I know what he means. Don't do
Yeah.
it. Don't do it. I can't help myself.
So, all right. So he says, yes. Then there should be then some other kind of licensure. Regular people shouldn't be able to just buy one of these and drive it around without some kind of extra training on how not to kill people with it. Ah, that sounds familiar. Anyway, so so next, I reply. I said, so you want more regulation from the government? You want them to have control over one's personal decisions and livelihoods? He says, yes, actually, they already do. So we may as well do something useful with the power of the state and either ban these massive trucks or require people to prove they can safely operate them because they have shown they cannot at the expense of the rest of us. I have to be somewhat jokeful with him because otherwise I will get banned from his Facebook, like most of my family has been.
Ah,
So
yeah. Oh, I love those people. That I'll cut you off because you don't believe
yeah,
what I
because
believe.
we
People.
disagree with each other. Yeah.
Yeah, all great people. Salt to
Yes.
the earth. Those people, actually. What do
so
you
so I
think, Trace? Salt to the earth. Those type of people.
Yeah.
and honestly, like I love disagreeing with people. I mean, even more than loving to disagree with people, I love people who are okay with having a disagreement civilly. I love it
Well,
Agreed.
because
If you don't
And what
disagree with people, how you ever gonna learn or open your horizons? You know?
exactly that's where uniqueness is, right? That's what makes us individuals. And another thing too on it is like in the Marine Corps they say leadership is found in the friction zone. Well, if there's never any friction, then how can anybody stand out?
Yeah,
So uh, back to these massive trucks killing people. So
yeah,
I
all day
said
long, dude. This Trace,
I don't I don't
Trace,
know,
your truck's
man.
in the shop because like it was at risk of killing someone, right? By being massive and trucky. You
No,
had to put it in the garage to keep it away from the general public, keep them all safe.
no,
Gotta lock those trucks away, take them away from the.
Trace,
Anyway.
do you have your concealed Ford F-150 license?
no, I don't have an F-150. I just have a little Ranger.
Do you have your
Well,
concealed truck license?
yeah, I was gonna say, have you had to get your additional license to
No,
operate?
I haven't had to get a CDL for, my big, huge truck.
It's painful. So I said, I don't know, man. Sounds pretty fascist to me. And I said, stay tuned,
That
folks. And this is where I get a little
I'm sure that
controversial.
triggered him.
I said, stay tuned, folks, for when he wants old white men to stop making decisions, putting regulations on people.
Just call him right out, huh?
So then he says, and this is, I mean, we're talking like a five-page essay here. So I literally only got through the first sentence. It says, "I'm all for government regulations that make sense," and then he goes on to cite statistics about how people die from car accidents. Da, 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 da. I'm all
Well,
for.
if they would not be on the sidewalk when I'm driving to work, they wouldn't die from car accidents. It's a simple system, dude.
Let's see. I said I stopped reading after quote, "I'm all for government regulations that make sense," unquote, because that's just a subjectively constant oxymoron, right? Because no matter who reads that, they're going to find fault in it, you know? So he says, "No there isn't, or no it isn't. There's things like speed limits, limits on pollution, food safety regulations, alcohol regulations, etc., 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 that make the world better for all of us. They should, at a minimum, remain or ideally strengthened over time."
Ideally, yeah, yeah. Uh, I mean, go on.
I said, all subjective opinions.
That's true. That is all of that subjective.
Because I'm not gonna get into every single one and lose sight of the topic. I said, oh, and then another one of his buddies jumps in and basically says, "I don't know where you're going with this, buddy." I said, "Yeah, still smells like fascism, bro. That's not what freedom looks like." And then he says, "I want people to have the freedom to walk around their homes and communities without getting mowed down by idiots in tank-sized trucks."
I want people to
Mm.
have the freedom to have the thing sized truck. I don't like it, but I'll
Right,
defend to the death your right to fucking do it.
right, right. I said, they literally do. You're 100% free to do that. That breaks no laws. However, running people or their homes and communities over is illegal. Like, you really do be free, brother. Complaining about thick truck is the most privileged free part about all of this. Wanting to restrict other people's freedoms is not very cash money of you, bro.
That sounds like something I would say. Go on.
And then that was it really. And then him and his buddy were talking about how dangerous trucks can be. But I feel like the whole conversation was really just a euphemism for guns.
I feel like the whole conversation's a euphemism for guns. Oh boy.
Like, we're saying it without saying it. You know, it all felt really weak. I just want people to have the freedom to walk around in their house without getting mowed down by these oversized trucks.
Yeah, that's sort of like when you say something like that, it's like you're too scared to say you want gun control. There's plenty of people who aren't too scared to say that, and they say it. Like,
Well, and for me, the whole topic wasn't even about trucks, honestly. If it was a euphemism for gun control, it's not even about that. For me, and this is where I'm going to give away my political views, is it's all about the individual rights and freedoms, um, and not and about preventing government overstep.
okay, so he's giving you guys one hint. Who wants to classify Kyle?
I am not stepping on those toes. Mm-mm.
Okay,
I am not I am not taking a bite of that fruit.
it's a
It's
completely
not even bait. It's
yeah, it's not a bait because
it's
he'll
really
say
not.
it eventually. Because people who fall into this camp, it's something they gotta say constantly. No
You can,
offense, Kyle, but
no, I know. Like I've literally been trying not to. You know.
he's like ever since you pointed it out, I'm trying
Right.
not to.
I'm not gonna say it just for the sake of appeasing the meme of saying it. You know.
How about you, Ham? You want to take a shot?
I'm good. I'm a little too tired for that.
Okay, Kyle. With no contestants, you're free to do what you're gonna do,
I
and
mean,
I know you're
1,000.
craving to do it.
Oh, dude, it's all. I'm like,
You're like,
oh.
I can't not do it. It's
I
what
feel
my
like I'm
people
just
do.
just a massive truck looking at an innocent civilian walking in their house. I need to let it
Do
go.
it.
You know.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Transformers. That's the next thing you need to do is just post a picture of a transformer in that guy's house.
I
I
believe
need
in
a
trans
dump.
rights.
I need,
Whoa, wait a
I
minute.
need a dump button. I need. Wait 1 second before you say it again. I need a pause button.
I believe.
uh, uh, 1 second. Let me hit this